Calling into order the Committees on Public Safety, Intergovernmental, and Military Affairs, and Committee on Human Services for the hearing of Thursday, February 10th, 2022 at 1 p.m. And I'd like to recognize the members of the committee. We have Senator Lynn Decoit. We also have Senator Ross Baker, and at this moment, that's all I see. So anyway, So
for human services, it's only me, but I'm hoping that quorum by the time of decision making.
Okay, Chair, and I hope that the other members will pop up on our screen. Okay, this meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at, I guess it will be Tuesday, February 14th, I believe. February 14th. And the public.
15th, Senator. We don't have the 14th. February 15th.
Oh, I'm sorry, corrected. I stand corrected. February the 15th. And if public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. For testifiers and participating remotely, your audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it's your turn to testify. And you have a 2-minute period for you to testify. I'll be reading a list of individuals who submitted written testimony for each measure. We apologize if the closed captioning doesn't accurately transcribe the names. And if you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislature's website and you'll find a link on the status page for the measure. So for the first testifier, we have Mark Patterson for Hawaii Correctional Systems Oversight Commission. Mark, are you there?
Good morning, Chair Nishihara, Chair San Buenaventura. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, there I am. Aloha. Yeah. Thank you. Chair of the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission. We stand on our testimony at this time, but I would like to share that, as a commission for the Correctional System Oversight, we've been in operation for about 2 years since the 2019 legislative session. And with the appropriations that we received, we have been it has been difficult for us to fulfill our mandates when we have no staff that was assigned to us. Twice we have put in for our staff to be hired, and that has not to happen. So we just want to share, when we invest in these commissions, that everything be given to them to do what they say we want them to do. So as far as that, we want to support this bill and work with the commission should it be established. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark. And I hope this time you do get the funding this year. Okay, next we have. Yeah, I know you need the money. Next we have Max Otani for Public Safety.
All right, good morning, chairs, vice chair, committee members, Max Otani, Department of Public Safety. We would stand on a written testimony providing comments on this bill, but just briefly, we would like to point out that there are very similar features with the current Oversight Commission and this proposal in this bill, and there may be some overlap as far as duties. In addition to that, recidivism is currently tracked by the Interagency Council of Intermediate Sanctions. So that is another resource that we would be working with. be available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
So Director, I have a quick question. What the bill asks for a women's Correctional Implementation Committee, you think that could be wrapped into what the current commission already is doing?
It could possibly be. If you're going to have two commissions, then, would the current commission be just responsible for males? If you're having a commission, specific for females, and I think,
Would that be a problem?
well, we would be reporting to many commissions on the department end. So
Yeah. So it would be better if it was all wrapped up into one and they both take over the duties.
we would prefer that. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Craig Hirai, but he just sent in comments. He's not testifying publicly, visually. We have Linda Rich testifying for Women's Prison Project.
Yes, thank you and good morning to the chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committees. We strongly support this bill, and primarily we are in support because it does focus on the needs of women in the prison system. Chapter 10 of the House Concurrent Resolution number 85's 2019 report made a number of recommendations specific to women who have an incredibly high rate of incarceration and recidivism. And we believe that their pathways to that are different and their needs are different, and that there needs to be a specific focus on implementing recommendations related to women. I stand by the rest of my testimony, and I'm happy to answer questions.
I got a quick question, Dara. Not Dara, but Linda.
Yes.
You don't think that it was wrapped up in working with the Hawaii's Correctional System Oversight Commission, with the women being noted that they have services that need to be addressed as well? You think they could work together under that one commission, Oversight Commission, rather than a separate one?
If there are women on the commission who are knowledgeable of the needs of women, I think that women often are left out. Most of the assessment tools and the programming that goes on is directed toward men. And our emphasis is that there must be specific attention to the needs of women to reduce their rate of incarceration and recidivism. And we would refer to Chapter 10 of that Resolution 85 report about what that needs to look like, and whether there is a women's group blended into the current commission or whether it's a standalone commission. We strongly believe that there needs to be a way to specifically be looking at and addressing the needs of women.
Okay, thank you. We also have additional people in support of it, but they're not on the Zoom, as Dara Carlin, Soon Kim, Robin Hart, and Carmen Hulu Lindsay, but they're not on the visual, they're not on the Zoom. So that brings us to the end of that list of testifiers for this particular bill. Members, any questions? Yes, Senator.
Thank
You
you.
want to unmute yourself?
I believe I did. Just thank you.
Okay.
So I'd like to speak to Mark Patterson. Is he around?
Yeah, there he is.
Thank you, thank you. So I read the testimony of Max Otani as well as yourself, and I heard what Linda Rich has also testified to. And I noticed, I think, two different reasons, two big things. One, this bill actually authorizes an appropriation, yeah, and you folks are not getting any money. So what do you think about putting the this commission, the Hawaii's Correctional Implementation Commission, as part of the Oversight Committee? That way there will be appropriation. And the second thing is that this bill actually requires a report specifically for women's correctionals, right? Regarding women. So we're gonna basically require an additional report specifically for women, which is what this bill addresses. Do you think the Hawaii Oversight Commission, committee, will be able to do that? Have a commission as part of the committee and come up with a separate report specifically targeting those from the Women's Community Correctional Center?
Thank you for that question, Senator. I'm going to start off by some clarifications. In the original Act 179, we did receive appropriations. However, it was pre-COVID, and as soon as COVID hit, it really never moved. After that, in 2020, early 2020, we received additional appropriations in, I believe, in 21. What has happened is we have had two processes of hiring an oversight coordinator. We submitted the recommendations to the governor's office, but we have never received a nomination from him or a selection of our recommendations. So we have had the appropriations. We have just not gotten the person hired that we recommended to the governor's office. So with that being said, it's difficult for the commission to do its work and have a report if we don't have the staff to assist us. Most of our commissions that are designing the state have very knowledgeable people on the commission. In just 3 of our commissioners, we have over 100 years of public safety. With just 2 of the commissioners, we have almost 100 years in the judiciary. But we don't have the individual that ties us together, takes our thoughts and puts it down on paper and be our eyes and foot on the ground. So I believe in the statements that was given by Ms. Rich, where the women are second-class citizens in a male-dominated system, yeah, and that certain things need to be aligned in terms of leadership to assure that their needs are specific to them and their gender, yeah. However, adding them to us and we still have no staff will not solve any problems. Yeah, we can be more effective with the staff. If you give us the assignment, give us the staff. Thank you.
Well, we should pass this bill because that way there will be staff and an appropriation.
Yes, I hope. Thank you.
Chair,
Okay, Senator DeCoy.
so Mark, of those 3 commissioners, are they a mix of male and female?
Yes.
How many male, how many female?
Currently we have 4 males and 1 female. Yeah,
No.
on the commission.
So,
Martha Tournay was the former Deputy Director of Public Safety, as well as the former Executive Director of the Office of Youth Service.
so, okay, okay, thank you. Can I get Max Otani? So, thank you, Mark, appreciate it.
Hi, Senator.
Hi, Max. So Max, you have a problem with having this Women's Correctional Implementation Commission?
I don't have a problem with the commission. All I'm pointing out is that we're gonna be reporting to 2 commissions. So we report to 1 commission who oversees the whole correctional system. And then we're gonna report to another commission that only oversees the women in the correctional system. So I think there's an overlap as far as commissions go, and there needs to be some line in the sand, I guess, which commission we report to, because the current commission also oversees the females at this point. It's the whole correctional system. Whereas this bill is just specific for females.
So, and I think it's specific for females because of the issues that I believe Ms. Rich brought up that has not been being addressed, and the specifics of the needs of women. Your suggestion is what, merging the 2 together? I mean, does that get us anymore in addressing the needs of these women that, I mean, if you look at it, you know, you guys looking at complaints of abuse on issues that, I mean, two separate genders, just like the pat downs, you know, I had issues with the pat downs of course, lack of staff, but again, you know, there's appropriations being put in here. And I get the fact that it's an extra layer, but it's that layer that I think provides coverage for both sides of the male and female spectrum.
Senator, as I said, I don't have an issue with the female commission. It's just, is the current commission now, are they gonna just be responsible for the male inmates? That is my question, because we will be reporting to both commissions on females.
Okay, thanks, Max. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Members, any other questions? Otherwise, we'll move on to Senate Bill 2775. And we have Isaac Choi, Department of Tax.
Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, and committee members. The Department of Taxation stands on our submitted testimony, offering comments and are available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Max Otani.
Hi, good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, committee members, Max Otani, Department of Public Safety. Again, we would stand on our written testimony providing comments and would like to have the committee take a look at, you know, our comments regarding jurisdictional issues. These are reentry services that the department actually has no jurisdiction of them once they leave our custody. I'll be available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Kathy Betts, Human Services.
Aloha, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee. Kathy Betts with the Department of Human Services. We'll stand on our written testimony where we appreciate the intent and provide some comments and request for clarification. And I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have additional testifiers not on Zoom. Craig Uri for Budget and Finance who sent in comments. Fred Hune, Hawaii Paroling Authority, who's in support. And Trevor Arbarzua. Is Trevor here?
Yes, Senator Chair. Thank you so much. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Trevor Arbarzua with the Chamber of Commerce Hawaii. We stand in support of Senate Bill 2775, and we stand on our written testimony. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. We have Alan Johnson, but he's not on Zoom. He's testifying support. And we have Linda Rich again. Linda?
Yes, thank you. Well, this bill is really aimed at reducing the high recidivism rate of women by providing them with the basic necessities that will stabilize them. Poverty is the strongest predictor of recidivism among women. And when women leave prison, they're expected to get a job. They need childcare to do that. Many women do not have a safe, affordable place to return to, which can lead to them going back into an unhealthy situation that leads them back into recidivism. So we strongly support, the Women's Prison Project strongly supports this bill, which would provide basic stabilizing benefits to a woman as she exits from incarceration. So I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Let's see, we have people send in testimony, but they're not on the Zoom. Dara Carlin in support, Soon Kim in support, Robin Hart in support, and Carmen Hulu Lindsay in support. Any others that are not on this this particular bill? Otherwise, members, any questions? I have a question. This goes to the DOTAX. toe tax?
Yes.
Yeah, in your comments, it says the department recommends the measure be amended to provide DLIR with the statutory authority to provide the department with information necessary to verify credit claims. Is that what you would like to see within the bill?
Yes, as noted, currently there are no provisions for verification of the amounts, so we wouldn't have any information. So we just need that mechanism in between to allow them to provide that information for us.
Yeah, I see. It also goes on to say that the new tax credit applies for taxable years after December 31st, 2022. So you want that to be part of the bill as well.
Correct. That just allows us the time to make the necessary forms and computer changes to actually put it into practice.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
this is Roz.
Yeah. Got to see it.
Is Kathy Betts still on the call? Could I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, Senator.
Hi, Kathy. I'm just curious, how does your department interface with corrections currently in terms of trying to probably folks that your department and programs or might be when they are released from prison?
Sure, thanks, Senator. Currently, our MedQuest division works pretty closely with PSD administration to help folks who are exiting incarceration to apply for Medicaid coverage so that they have coverage before they exit the facility. So we are, we have collaborated with PSD and have attempted to obviously work over the years to provide those crucial services to those exiting incarceration. So we do see the importance of these services.
So would it be your department or would it be PSD that would make sure that the women have an appropriate ID, have access to their children, give some help in terms of finding a place to stay? I have the feeling that the women get lost. And I want to make sure that if this bill can facilitate them not getting lost, that we really make sure that there's that orientation there.
Right, Senator. I believe the jurisdiction over identification is with PSD because of the past legislation a few years back. In terms of housing, we do have, our homeless programs office, we have outreach services, and we also have some civil legal services as part of our contracts with HPO that offer assistance in folks getting identification. In terms of other services, I put in the testimony, we did request clarification on whether the vouchers contemplated in the measure would be state or federal funds. Obviously, we have a lot of federal benefits, and so we weren't sure if there would be extra additional A funds to set up voucher programs for women exiting.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. Chair, could I ask, I think it's Max Otani from Public Safety.
Sure, go ahead, Senator.
Max, when the women exit the prison, what services or transition assistance, what does your department provide them?
Senator, it all depends on what type of exit they're doing. So if they're being released on parole, paroling authority ensures that, they have a stable place to go to, a verified residence, and, means of support. The ones that complete their full sentences that are no longer under any jurisdictions, those are the ones that tend to fall through the cracks. And then we try to use nonprofits such as Waikiki Help to assist in the transition if they don't have a place to go.
So when somebody leaves your jurisdiction, what do they leave with? Do they have a valid ID? Do they have access to maybe getting employment? What kind of services do you folks provide them?
If they're leaving us and there is no more sentence to serve, then the ID issue is something that we're still working on. We're very close at this point in reproducing IDs. We try to assist them. If they're on community status, they're able to go out into the community and get IDs on their own, the necessary paperwork. we try to link them up with services for medical if they're eligible. And if they're on any type of medication, we provide them some type of short-term supply of medication that they need. And as I said, we'll try to link them up with a nonprofit to assist with housing and employment if possible.
Okay, I'm just concerned that we're letting some of the women fall through the cracks, and that's just going to lead to additional problems. They're going to come back to the facility, or they're not going to have the support that they really need to make it outside, if you will. And so I'm just wondering what else that you folks could do to try to help, working with DHS and others to try to make them successful so they don't come back to the prison.
Yeah, most of the inmates that I release have an opportunity for parole, and parole has these requirements that they would have to meet as far as residence and supporting themselves. The ones that complete their full term are usually jail type inmates, or inmates that had behavioral problems that could not earn parole. So those provide a little bit more complication as far as trying to get them to voluntarily go out and get services on their own.
Okay, so I guess what I'm asking you is for that category, obviously they need some additional help. So is there a program that you and DHS can put together so that there's a way that we can try to make sure that these folks are successful?
We would definitely work collaboratively with DHS on this if provided the means to assist them.
Okay.
It's finding the vendors out there that would be able to assist them in getting these services.
Okay, so some of the women legislators visited Fernhurst, and they seem to have a really good program, but obviously they cannot take everybody. So I'm wondering if there's a way that in the interest of improving people's lives after they've paid their debt to society, your department, DHS and others couldn't work together to create more of these opportunities like Fernhurst.
It's a possibility, but again, Senator, the inmates that complete their full term, they're no longer in our jurisdiction, so it would be hard for us to provide services for them. And I think that's where DHS would come in, because they would be not under our supervision or even the paroling authority supervision anymore.
Okay, what I'm asking you is for some kind of a warm handoff.
Yeah.
And because they're, even if they are exiting, they have been in your custody, and you probably, or your staff knows them best. There needs to be a warm handoff from public safety to the agencies that can help reintegrate them back into the community. And that's what I'm asking for, a commitment from you folks to make sure that happens.
Yeah, we could work on that, definitely.
Okay. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Let's hope that the warm handoff actually happens and it's a handoff and not just a handoff. Okay. Otherwise, we'll be moving on to Senate Bill 2306. Mark Patterson. Mark.
Hello, Senator. I stand on our testimony and I'll be around for any questions should you have any. Thank you.
Okay. Kathy Betts.
Go ahead, Chair, Vice Chairs, members of the committee. We will stand on our written testimony supporting this measure and providing some comments. Thank you.
Okay. We have Craig Hurai provided comments, but not on the Zoom. Cheryl Kakazu Park also sent in comments from OIP, and we have Kathy Allgaier. Kathy, are you there?
Yes. Aloha, Senator Nishihara, Senators and Bonaventure and committee members. You have our written testimony in strong support. And I just want to reiterate that this initiative has been, been talked about in the community for a while now. We were really hopeful that in 2020, we would actually be able to get it funded and get it started, but unfortunately we weren't able to because of the pandemic. We see renewed opportunity at this moment. And so we're hoping that, as the state takes on other trauma-informed work, similar to the measures that were just mentioned, that we put children and families first and finally are able to pass out this visitation project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have Judith Clark, Youth Services.
Aloha, Chair, members of the committee. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Judith Clark, Executive Director of Hawai'i Youth Services Network, which is in strong support of this bill. Children of incarcerated parents experience a lot of grief and loss, similar to the experience of divorce or death of a parent. Children of incarcerated parents are at increased risk of abuse or neglect, are more likely to have mental health problems and difficulties in school. They are 7 times more likely to enter the juvenile or adult correctional facilities themselves. Regular visitation provides opportunities to sustain the parent-child bond, which can alleviate many of these problems. We also believe that prisoners who have regular contact with their children benefit and make it easier for the prison authorities to manage their incarceration because they're less likely to violate rules and create problems. Regular contact with their children also reduces the risk of recidivism after they are released. Thank you for this opportunity to
Thank you,
testify.
Judith. Kat Brady.
Aloha, Chair Nishihara, Chair San Buenaventura, and members of both committees. Kat Brady testifying in strong support for this measure. You know, I've been researching for 25 years. There is no area of research I have ever found that has this kind of consensus. This is so important. The Family Reunification Group has been, which we are a part of, has been meeting for several years, and we really are close to actually creating a welcoming visitation and resource center. And I really hope that you pass this bill. All the research shows that people who have at least 3 visits every year, their recidivism rate is really low. People who have no visitation have a high recidivism rate. So we want to keep people connected. That's who we are in Hawaii.
Okay.
We're family. And we really want to encourage the department to push this bill forward because it's really, really important to keep people connected. It will reduce recidivism. It'll help the kids who suffer from a whole range of problems. We really support this. Thank you.
Thank you. We have others that are in support, but not on the video. We have Alec Marantic in support. We have Yoshimoto also in support. Kerry Roosevelt.
They're approved for Zoom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yoshimoto, are you there?
I am here. Aloha chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. No worries, no worries. My name is Kukuno Kala Yoshimoto, Executive Director of Blueprint for Change, and we stand on our testimony in strong support of SB 2306, offering comments. As a former member of the HCR 85 Criminal Justice Task Force, HCR 205, and SR 7 SD1 Visitation Working Group, and a current member of the Family Reunification Working Group, strongly support, again, SB 2306. The passing of this bill would move towards addressing a number of recommendations put forth in the final reports of the HCR 85 Task Force, the 205 Working Group, and the Children of Incarcerated Parents Task Force back in 2008. The establishment of a family visitation and resource center could and would address many of the needs outlined throughout all 3 of the previously mentioned reports, especially around the importance and benefits of maintaining relationships, not only for the pa'ahau, but for the ohana as well. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify. Aloha.
Okay, then we have other supporters, about 6 others, but they're not on the Zoom. I'll just read their names. Carrie Urosevic, Dara Carlin, Soon Kim, Diana Beto, Muriel Kiliho Malu, Malia Peters, Kathleen O'Donnell, Shai Helm. They're all in support. And now we move on to Senate. Oh, any members, any questions? Otherwise, we're moving on to Senate Bill 2375. Oh, Director Otani, did I miss you? Okay. Go ahead, Director.
Thank you, Senator. We will just stand on our written testimony in support of this measure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we have Sonia Bigalike Bannon.
Aloha, my name is Sonia Bigalke Bannon. I'm the Executive Director of the National Association of Social Workers. We're in support of this bill with some comments. For clarification, it is wonderful to have an experience of peer support, mentorship. It's really powerful, and that can lead to people being more qualified to be a candidate to go to school for social work. But social work isn't the process by which you can do a mentorship or an apprenticeship to get a licensed social work degree. The curriculum is set by the Council on Social Work Education. So by having programming in the facilities, it wouldn't replace social work education. It wouldn't actually take any, replace any of the credits for a bachelor's of social work or a master's of social work. But again, we are in support because training in human behavior, social environment, understanding one's own trauma, doing that work on oneself while we're incarcerated would make somebody a much stronger candidate if they do decide to go in the direction of social work for their education. And I'm happy to take questions. Aloha.
Okay, thank you. We have others not on the call, but Ellen Johnson in support, Dara Carlin in support, and Soon Kim in support. And I think that brings us to the end of 2375. What happened?
I think no, because you read Max from the last list because you skipped them. So these are the names that you missed. Yeah.
Okay, correction. Kathy Betts. Are you there, Kathy?
I'm here. Thank you. We'll stand on our written testimony, appreciating the intent and providing comments. Thank you.
Okay. And that brings us to the end of that agenda.
You missed Cat Brady.
No, I mentioned here the Rai. He's not there. He just sent in comments. And the other names like Ellen Johnson and so on, I've also noted that they sent in support. So I didn't miss those. At this point, that brings us to the end of our particular agenda, but the next one will be picked up by
Senator, I actually testified in support of this measure.
Oh, I thought you did already. My apologies. Okay, go ahead.
No worries. I think it's a fabulous idea. The only thing that concerns us is that it's only for misdemeanors and petty misdemeanors, and those folks are in jail, and that's a year or less. So I don't know how much training could actually happen at that point, but I think even a toe in the water to encourage people when they're released to get educated and enter the social work program at our schools would be awesome. So they would be the most incredible social workers because they had been through that path. Thank you so much. We support this bill.
Thank you. Members, any questions? I have a question to Max, though. I think in your testimony, Max, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Senator.
You mentioned about the shortness of the period which they're incarcerated, that you may not be able to adequately carry through on getting them college credits through a program like this to give a degree. Am I correct?
Yes, normally sentence misdemeanors will serve, a few days up to about a year at the most, as far as the jail term, so it will not give them, a very long period of time to actually get into studies there. And yeah, so basically that, and in addition, we have policies within the department where we would not have inmates have access to other inmates' records also. So this would be, I guess, preparation for them for once they leave the facility, but we would not allow an inmate to provide case management over another inmate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Members, questions about this bill? Otherwise, we're having the next committee chair to handle the other measures that are on this yeah.
Thank you, Chair. So calling on SB number 2561, relating to a sex trafficking emergency shelter, authorizes the Department of Human Services to establish or contract with a victim service provider to operate an emergency shelter for minors or victims of sex trafficking or sexual exploitation, provides for GE tax and fee exemptions and appropriates funds. First up, we have Department of Human Services in support. Is Kathy Betts still there?
Hi, Chair, I'm here. I will stand on our written testimony supporting this measure and also deferring to the Office of Youth Services. I believe Office of Youth Services was requesting in their testimony that the appropriation be transferred to them since it is their site and facility.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have State of Hawaii Organization of Police Officers in support. Anyone from SHOPO? Okay, passing it on. And next up, we have Department of Taxation providing comments. I see DOTAX.
Good afternoon again, chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committee. Teresa Zetwick on behalf of the Department of Taxation. Again, we will stand on our submitted testimony offering comments and are available for questions. Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Tricia Nakamatsu, prosecuting attorney for the Prosecuting Attorney's Office of the City and County of Honolulu.
Yes, Chair. Thank you. Good afternoon, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee. We'll stand on our written testimony and support available for questions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Judith Clark, Hawaii Youth Services Network in support.
Aloha, Chair, members of the committee. Hawaii Youth Services Network is in support of this bill, providing emergency shelter, counseling, and other services to minors who are survivors of sex trafficking is much needed. However, we do not have data that supports the need for a second emergency shelter for sex trafficking victims. The Lani Polua Assessment Center, operated by Halekipa, is rarely full to capacity and has never turned away an eligible youth. The center is operating with year-to-year funding. Current funding will expire in less than a year without any guarantee of continued funding. Providing longer-term stable funding for the Lani Polua Assessment Center is a more critical need than establishing a new shelter. If more beds are needed, adding capacity to an existing program is more cost-effective than starting a new one. We do think that it may be wise to look at the potential for providing host homes or emergency foster homes on neighbor islands.
So Ms. Clark, could you please wrap it up? We have your
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to testify. And we would urge this committee to make the same amendments that the House did a few days ago.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next up we have Imua Alliance in support.
Not present, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. So for 2561, we don't have any others on. Is anyone on Zoom who wants to testify on SB 2561? Okay, those providing written testimony, we have Office of Youth Services in support, Office of the Public Defender in support, Department of Budget and Finance providing comments, Hawaii County Council District 5 in support, Rainbow Family 808 in support, American Academy of Pediatrics Hawaii chapter in support. Opportunity Youth Action Hui in support. Halekipa providing comments, and 3 other individuals providing support, and Dara Carlin providing comments. Any questions, members, of those who have provided oral testimony? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the next question, next bill, which is SB 3293, relating to assistance for persons completing a term of imprisonment, establishes within the Department of Human Services a 4-year pilot program to provide housing and childcare vouchers to qualified applicants who will soon complete or have recently completed a term of imprisonment as a sentenced offender and who have or will have sole or primary custody of 1 or more children under the age of 18. Requires a voucher recipient to be employed at least 20 hours per week or be employed and attend an educational program for a combined total of at least 20 hours per week. Requires reports to the legislature, appropriates money. Okay, first up, we have Department of Human Services providing comments.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. Joseph Campos, Deputy Director, Department of Human Services. On behalf of Director Betts, the department stands on its written testimony in appreciation of the intent of the measure, providing comments and requesting clarifications. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you very much. Nobody else having registered to testify on SB 3293 on Zoom. Are there any others on Zoom land who wants to provide comments or testify on SB 3293? Okay, seeing
Yes.
none. Oh, excuse me.
Sorry. Yes, sorry.
3293.
Yes, the Women's Prison Project does strongly support this measure. We've already talked about the needs of women as they transition out, and I think that this bill addresses that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Linda Rich. Anybody else online wishing to testify on SB 3293?
Chair, this is Max Otani, Department of Public Safety. We submitted late testimony today, but the department of this measure. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I did receive that. I apologize for not mentioning it. Oh, okay, so Max Otani has, Department of Public Safety has provided comments on SB 3293. Anybody else wishing to testify online on SB 3293? Okay, seeing none, we have written testimony from Department of Budget and Finance providing comments, Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition in support, Dara Carlin in support, Soon Kim in support. Members, any questions on SB 3293? Okay, I have a question. Joseph Campos, since you're sitting in for Kathy Betts, I have a question, DHS.
Yes,
so,
Chair.
It seems to me that the voucher program and a number of the benefits stated on SB 3293 and the earlier bill of SB 2775, like child care vouchers, already in the Department of Human Services. So it seems to me that if we pass this bill, will the Department of Human Services be able to have like a separate program to do the handoff, the warm handoff that Senator Baker referred to between Department of Public Safety, which does the paroling authority, according to Max Otani, help with the paroling authority, and be able to seamlessly, hopefully, help transition incarcerated women from the facilities into hopefully a productive life?
Yes, Chair. Thanks for the question. I'm sure the department would be able to work collaboratively with the Department of Public Safety to ensure that we could, develop some sort of program.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, any other questions Members, okay, seeing none, we're gonna move on to the last bill, which is SB 3294. And that is, we don't have anyone registered to testify on SB 3294, which is basically relating to re-entry planning circles, appropriates monies to fund re-entry planning circles for at least the incarcerated women. We do? Okay, sorry. We have Mark Patterson, Hawaii Correctional Systems Oversight Commission in support. Mark?
Yes, thank you, Senator San Bonaventura. I'd like to stand on our testimony regarding to this reentry planning circles. And just so, you know, when I was during my tenure at the Women's Community Correctional Center, I was privileged to be asked by some of the women to sit with them in their circles. And I had experience on being part of that reconciliation or restorative moment between them and their victims or them and their families. And I'm a sole believer that these works. I've seen the women after these circles and their transition back into the community as they continue in their journey of healing. So yes, I'm very supportive of this measure at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, next up we have Max Otani, Director of Department of Public Safety and Support.
Good afternoon, Chair. We'll send our written testimony offering comments on this measure and be available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Yeah, I had you in for supporting. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next we have Linda Rich, Women's Prison Project in support.
All the reasons that have just been stated by Mark Patterson. And also that this is an effective way, and it also is a part of that preparation for transition that was mentioned, because part of this process is ensuring that the woman has a secure transition plan in place, which includes a support network outside of the prison system. So the Women's Prison Project very strongly supports the continuation of this evidence-based effective process for transitioning women and others from the incarceration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have written comments from Department of Budget and Finance. We have Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition, Alan Johnson in support, written comments from Community Alliance on Prisons in support. 3 other individuals providing testimony in support: Soon Kim, Diana Bethel, Carmen Hulu Lindsay. Anybody else online wishing to testify on SB 3294? Members, any questions of our witnesses? Okay, seeing none, may we go into breakout room?
Okay, calling back to order, the Public Safety, Intergovernmental and Military Affairs and Committee on Human Services for the Thursday, February 10th, 1 o'clock hearing, starting with Senate Bill 3295, recommendations to pass it as is. But within the committee report, you would list the, I think it was what public safety's concerns that the Women's Corrections Implementation Commission is similar to the one for the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Committee. So that would be in the committee report. So pass it as is.
Also to put the commission in the committee after Chair San Bonaventura.
Oh, also, yeah, there was also a thing about putting into the committee report about the commission so they would get funding as well. Right, the recommendation that they be placed into that commission. I think at some point we may need to come back and address the commission in this balance of male-female to ensure that the women's issues are not forgotten. I think we should need to come back on that. Okay, so pass it with as is with the comments into the committee report. On Senate Bill 2775.
Wait, I would take the vote. Any discussion first or take a discussion?
Okay, so the first one, 3295, to pass it as is, chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3295, chair's recommendation passes is chair goes aye, vice chair goes aye. Senator Baker.
Aye.
Senator Rivera. Excuse. Senator Favela. Excuse. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Okay, for the.
Oh, yeah, we
Committee on
forgot you.
Human-
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, wait a second. For the Committee on Human Services, same recommendation. Senator Ihara for the vote. Chair votes aye.
Well, can I ask a clarification? I believe Senator Favela voted aye for PSM. Is that correct?
I did not hear him.
Yeah, it was frozen, but I could see
Okay.
everybody, but it was frozen.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Senator
sorry.
Favela.
Thank you.
Okay, now for the Committee on Human Services, we're voting on the recommendation to pass Senate Bill 3295 unamended. Chair San Buenaventura.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Ocasio.
Aye.
Senator Misa Lucha is excused. Senator Favela.
Aye.
Okay, I heard you there. Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on Senate Bill 2775, pass it with technical amendments. Wait, 2775.
You're going to defer that one, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's one we deferred because we're going to use Senate Bill 3293. Am I correct? Yeah, okay, so that bill is deferred. Okay, moving on to Senate Bill 2306. And this is the one I want to defer indefinitely because I'm going to wait for the House companion, House Bill 1741 to come over. And they've already heard the bill and it's has a more complete version of what we want into the bill. I think 2306 is similar to or is the same as the other bill, but not, unfortunately, not a companion in its entirety. Okay, so we'll defer that bill indefinitely, 2306. Okay, Chair.
23, okay, what about 2375?
Oh, we want to come back.
I agree with all the, sorry, I agree with all the deferrals of SB 2306 and 2775.
Okay. And 2375 is to pass it as is. Okay. All right. Recommendations to pass 2375 as is. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 2375, chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair votes aye. Recognizing all members here except Senator Rivera. Any members with reservations or nay? Seeing none, Chair, your measure is adopted.
Thank you.
So for Human Services, same recommendation to pass as is. Chair votes aye. Senator Ihara for the vote.
Any reservation objections to the recommendation to pass Senate Bill 2375 unamended? Otherwise, I'll cast an aye. Oh, and we are all
Just
here, all
yeah,
five.
noted that I'm here, present.
Yes.
Yeah, I came from another committee. Yes,
So
thank
all
you.
five members, any of the members present, all members are present. Any objections or reservations on the chair's recommendation? The recommendation is adopted.
Okay. So thank you very much. So for Senate Bill 2561, Chair's recommendation is to accept the Department of Human Services, OIS, Office of Youth Services amendments. Excuse me, for some reason, my decision-making notes on this bill has disappeared since the last time we talked about it. But to accept that, add a defect date and
There were some texts, SMA texts.
And, right. Sorry, it was in the back of one. You're right. Add, accepted SMA recommendations of PEC amendments and blank out the appropriation. Any comments, questions, concerns?
There, this is Yuko from SMA. Would you like, you just said that you would like to defect the date. Does that DM stand?
I mean, we can do it, but because we blanked out the appropriation.
Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you for the clarification, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
We're voting on the recommendation to pass Senate Bill 2561 with amendments. Any reservations or objections from the members present? The recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. For Senate Bill 32, oh, sorry. Public safety.
Coming on public safety, same recommendation, passed with amendments. Chair goes aye.
Members vote on SB 2561, passing with amendments, recognizing all members here with the excuse, I believe, of Senator Rivera. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measures adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So SB 3293, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. We are going to add in the tax credit provision from SB 2775 with the DOE tax requested amendment. And we are also going to add into the committee report for Department of Human Services to work with the Department of Public Safety for the warm handoff to ensure that the integration process started in public safety and paroling authority will continue to ensure integration into the community by incarcerated persons. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
For the Committee on Human Services, we're voting a recommendation to pass Senate Bill 3293 with amendments. Any objections or reservations? The recommendation is adopted.
For the Committee on Public Safety, same recommendation, passed with amendments. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3293, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments, recognizing all members here with the excuse of Senator Rivera. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measure is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. So for SB 3294, relating to reentry planning circles, Chair's recommendation is to accept the SMA's proposed recommendation to basically add the words at least 50 before the phrase incarcerated women to match the purpose section, and just add in a defect date to ensure that we have corrected all possible mistakes. Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
We're voting on Chair's recommendation to pass Senate Bill 3294 with amendments. Any reservations, objections? Otherwise, I'll cast an aye vote for all members present. Recommendation is adopted.
Okay, for public safety, same recommendation to pass with amendments. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 3294, Chair's recommendation passed with amendments, recognizing all members here with the excuse of Senator Rivera. Any reservations or nays? Seeing none, Chair, your measures adopted.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are done, right?
Yep, we're done.
Adjourned. Thank you.
Senator, we still have our public safety.
Okay, calling into session the public safety hearing. And let's see, I lost my agenda. Yeah, here it is. Okay. This is February 10th, Thursday, public hearing, safety intergovernmental hearing at 2 p.m. And I think you gotta go. Yeah. Okay. So first, nope, we don't have anybody for that particular measure. So there's one, there's Alan Warasaki, but he's not on video. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Senate Bill 3206. And we have first on 3206, we have Elizabeth Char, Director of Health. Is Public Health there? I mean, is the Department of Health there?
Not present, Chair, I believe.
Oh, okay. Moving on, there's Andrea Losaby. Is Andrea there?
Thank you. Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Thank you for giving me the time and opportunity to provide testimony today. My name is Andrea Losby, and I strongly support Senate Bill 3206. This bill was introduced in honor of my dad, who died during a snorkeling event using a full face snorkel mask at Chang's Beach in Maui just 8 weeks ago. During the search for my father, every first responder I communicated with mentioned significant concerns about full face snorkel masks and explained that they've been seeing an increase in drownings for those using full face snorkel masks throughout the last several years. Once the search for my father concluded, I wanted to know how many people have died while using full face snorkel masks versus standard snorkels and masks in Hawaii. But I was told that the data is not currently collected in a consistent manner or available for analysis. Collecting data is crucial to analyzing and responding to the risk related to specific snorkeling equipment. So I'm urging you to please vote to pass this bill, including the funding necessary for data collection, so data-driven change can be taken to avoid other families from experiencing the pain that mine and others unfortunately have. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Andrea, sorry for your loss, and we have about a little over 50 people that testified in support of this measure, although they're not on the video.
Thank you.
I'll just read the names off anyway. We have Harold Becker, Sue Peterson, Ashley Shield, Al Bizet, Whitney Jackson, Jeff Becker, Alicia Schmidt, Gary Schmidt, Amy Stockman, Emily Kaminsky, Wendy Cottle, Susan Mikhailovsky, Felicia Holschersbach, Moy Maldonado, Chris Hoffman, Jennifer Moore, Jacqueline Taylor, Dan Carlson, Hannah Hollemeyer, Christina Becker, Barry Forrest, Thomas Powers, Jessica Varsek, Stephen Dolaman, Julie Urbon, Jeffrey Paul Verbo, even, I think I might have mispronounced his name, Andrew Hayes, James Verhoeven, Matthew Spear, Carl Milexovsky, Kimberly Berger, David Meyer, Santo Neri, Jack Spear, Robert Spear, Jeff Teskey, Keely Spear, Jim Miller, Cheryl Daly, Lindsay DePass, Kim Schneider, Catherine Loasby, I guess must be a sister, Michael Molezzi, Marcella Molezzi, Dana Wood, Daniel Egan, Andrew Hennings, Beverly Roundtree, Robert Clark, Megan Wasserman, Kathy Jensen, John D. Smith, Michael Milward, Sharon Smith, Suzanne Lavington Sphere, Elizabeth Jackson, Lavina Roman, Rachel Lance, Jeff Spencer, Sarah Spear, Nathan Hesser, Jill Spear, Ryan Miller, Madeline Kurska, Eric Losby, Judith Michaels, Scott Rajsik. They're all in support. So, members, any questions? Otherwise, we'll move on to Senate Bill. Bill number is 2646.
Chair, were you finished with 2606?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to, I understand you're talking about snorkeling and water, but what about on first responders that use their regular mask for like chemical fires and smoke fires? Are those masks covered under this bill for inspection? Or?
No, I think the bill is specifically about that.
Senator, this bill's just about data recording.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Okay. Anyway, Senate Bill 2646, Adrian Dakwa, Attorney General. Adrian, are you there?
Good afternoon, Chair Nishihara, Vice Chair DeCoy, Senator Favela, Deputy Attorney General Adrian Dakwa on behalf of the department. We have comments on SB 2646 as laid out in our testimony. 3 suggested amendments. The first one would be just to clarify that the proposed offense of selling a stolen bike would be in fact a criminal misdemeanor. The second amendment would be to include the serial number of the bicycle. And the third amendment would be to make it clear that the prosecution wouldn't have to prove the person knew that this offense occurred in the county of Honolulu, in as much as Honolulu is the only county with a population of over 500,000. As it stands now, prosecutors would have to prove that the defendant knew he was stealing a bike in a county with a population over 500,000. So we would clarify that we shouldn't have to prove the person's state of mind as to that circumstance. That's all the testimony we have. I'd be happy to answer any questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, Adrian, on this use of the bicycle issue, I know there was issues were raised by some pawnbrokers, but does yours include anything to do with that?
Only so much in terms of what data is collected. I think we're asking to include the serial number of the bicycles.
That's all you're asking?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Benjamin Moskowitz, Major, HPD.
Good afternoon, Chair Nishihara, Vice Chair DeCoy, Senator Favela. My name is Benjamin Moskowitz. I'm a major with the Honolulu Police Department, Criminal Investigation Division. We did submit written testimony and.
I haven't yet.
Oh, sorry. This similar bill did have a hearing in the House on Tuesday, and I think you're going to have some pawnbrokers come up behind me and testify and raise several probably pretty valid issues. One thing I just wanted to ask is, I did speak this afternoon with Representative Lisa Martin, who has been kind of instrumental in putting this bill together and kind of helping us to collaborate. She was in touch with the folks who are going to testify after me and pass along their contact information to me just before today's hearing. So all I would ask is that you do pass this out of committee in some form to give us a chance to meet with the pawnbrokers and Representative Martin and whoever else might be interested. And I don't think we're too far apart on what we want out of the bill. We both kind of want the same thing. I think it's just a matter of the devil being in the details. So I would just ask that you pass out of committee in some form and give us an opportunity to meet in the next week or so with those folks and hopefully be able to come back to the next committee with a unified front of something we can all support.
Okay,
and if you have any questions, I'll stick around.
Okay, thank you, Major. Tricia Nakamatsu, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, is in support, but she's not on the Zoom.
Sorry, Chair, I'm here.
You are here.
We'll stand on our written testimony, though. Deputy Prosecutor Tricia Nakamatsu for the Honolulu Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. One thing that we would note is that the technology that is used by HPD on these pawnbroker information record keeping systems is actually used in other states across the nation. So we believe it would comply with any federal requirements.
It would. Okay.
Thank you.
But is it? But this thing calls for more oversight in the sense of how you deliver the information electronically.
Oversight is actually, I think, more the vehicle by which the information gets to HPD, because what's happening is that it takes so long sometimes for the paper forms to get inputted into the system that by the time those paper forms, well, HPD
takes a while.
Questions, but our point in our testimony was that for purposes of the victims being able to go in, and even if it's just to meet with a police officer and be able to look through an inventory of things and be able to look at a picture and say, that is my bracelet or ukulele or whatever it is. A photograph helps. And then of course, having that information as soon as possible, not a month later, is really what's going to help reunite that person with their items.
Other people could get onto that site and look for that.
I don't know. We don't necessarily have an opinion as to how much of it is available for public viewing. We understand that names and addresses, things like that, we certainly wouldn't want available to the public, but maybe just a photograph or a description, or even if the person has to go into the police station and speak to a police officer to see the photograph or the description, we would be fine with whatever meets the needs of the police officers and the victims.
Okay, thank you. Jonathan Spiker.
So there's two people testifying now. Jonathan Spiker, him and his father.
Good afternoon, Chair Nishihara, Vice Chair DeCoit, and committee members. I am the attorney for the Hawaii Pawnbrokers Association, and we respectfully oppose this bill and ask that you do not pass it. This bill does violate federal law because under federal law, pawn shops, banks, and credit unions are all financial institutions, and customers of financial institutions are guaranteed specific federal privacy rights. And sharing, and these privacy rights limit the sharing of customers' non-public personal information in business transactions, including pawn transactions, and ensures customers are guaranteed a right of privacy. And I've actually confirmed with the National Pawnbrokers Association, no other state in America requires pawnbrokers and secondhand dealers to upload personal customer information, photographs of customers, photographs of items purchased to a public website. That is a confirmed fact with the National Pawnbrokers Association. Under this bill, a website is being created for stolen property, yet pawn shops are going to be required to upload their entire inventory, which is not stolen property, to the stolen property website. If you think about it, uploading photographs of an item to a website that is viewable by anyone
Senator, the minute's up, yeah.
will result in mass confusion, misidentification, and false claims of ownership. All inscriptions, names, and designs of items are already recorded and reported in detail to law enforcement. Furthermore, many pawnbrokers and secondhand dealers are senior citizens, and many of them have disabilities or other medical conditions, and therefore are unable to comply with the electronic and reporting requirements of this bill.
John, we have your testimony. I understand your father is also on the call.
Yes.
Is he there?
Okay. Yes, Senator. I'll put him on right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Chair.
Yeah, I received the testimony. It was from both you and your son.
We have
what your son just spoke about.
Mine's different. It's different testimony, Chair Nishihara. If you're able to hear it, or would you like to hear it, or what would you like?
You can give me a synopsis of it.
Okay, my synopsis. Well, I'm the owner of Hawaii Gold and Silver Company. I've been in business 43 years. The president of the Pawnbrokers Association for 20 years. I just want to point out that there are many shops that are electronically filed already. And one of them is one of the busiest shops in the state. Last year reported one item was found in his shop to be stolen. But we are interested in meeting with HPD. Appreciate what the major said, that we could get together and work out something that would work for everyone. There was a House resolution passed in 2014 that wanted to put a working group together, stakeholders, to come up with a solution. And I think if we get together, we can come up with a solution that will work. Because I did speak with Representative Martin. So I'm hoping that we can handle this on the House side, and the Senate will not pass this bill, and we can work out something with concerned parties with the House side of the bill. And just thank you for attention to this bill, Senator and Vice Chair DeCoy and committee members. I just want to note that we do have a lot of customers that have disabilities in their age. I'm one of those, and we are honest, hardworking people. We support our families. I've worked hard and supported my family. I have 3 sons. One is my attorney that's here, my son. The second one's a medical doctor, a surgeon, and my third is a proud police officer.
We gotta wrap this up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Okay,
allowing me.
thank you. We have Fran Bishop and Katie Hillstead. They were sent in testimony, one in opposition, one just comments. So members, any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to ask them to go to the break room. Oh, Senator Baker, you had a question? Senator DeCoy, you had a question? I don't see you, so. Oh, okay, go ahead, Senator.
Sorry, thank you, Senator Nishara. HPD and so Ben, are you guys able to sit and work this out?
I'm on the list to testify. I haven't been heard. Have I been canceled out?
I think that's Mr. Dan was talking. He testified at Tuesday's committee hearing also, so I think he might be on the list to testify. I'd be happy to answer your question, or you want to have him testify first, or I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah, let him go ahead and testify first.
Okay, I'll stand by.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Richard Dan. I stand on my testimony. I've been a pawnbroker for 46 years. I guess I'm the senior pawnbroker in the room. I've been an electronic reporter to the Maui Police Department for over 20 years. I presently report to the Maui Police Department through RISK Systems. It's free, unlike the Honolulu Department, which uses BWI, which charges Honolulu an exorbitant amount of money. This bill has come before this body many times over the years, and I've testified at every one of those times. I believe that what we came up with in 2014, CR 154, which is attached to my testimony, is the way to go. We have a stakeholders meeting. We get one unified statewide system for reporting, so inter-island stuff can happen. That's really important. I don't believe taking pictures is any resolution, and the National Pawnbroker Association says no state in the United States has people electronically submitting pictures of merchandise. It's very subjective. What's a good picture? What's a bad picture? What's going to do the job? What's not? In the legislation that's proposed, it says taking pictures will make it easier for people to, the police to go ahead and use the serial number that's in the picture. You can't search a number that's in a picture. We already put in the serial numbers. As to bikes, bikes are illegal for anybody to buy or sell unless they're registered in the secondhand market. I don't see where that comes into this. There are a lot of pawnbrokers who are not electronic, who are not computerized, and going electronic and going computerized is expensive. There's no question about it. You have to have a computer, you have to have software. Just walking in the door is going to cost you $5,000. A lot of them don't have enough volume to support going electric, and a lot of them are old and are not technologically inclined. I'm 70 years old, but I'm a little bit technologically inclined, and I'm an electronic pawn shop. I think I covered all the things. I spoke with Lisa Martin last night for about 40 minutes and went over all of this. One thing we'd like to see is people who have an existing license, grandfathered in. And thank you, Major, for nodding your head okay. I'm glad we're on the same team. But we have to come up with one program statewide.
Okay.
What's going on, Senator?
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you seem to be pretty passionate about what you're saying. So anyway, we're going to go to the break room and we're going to discuss this further. Okay. Break room. You have a question?
Chair, real quick, just for the major, is that something you guys can work out with the
Yep, absolutely. So Rep. Martin passed me Mr. Dan and Mr. Spiker's phone numbers just like 5 minutes before the hearing today, or I would have done it before the hearing. So in the next day or two, certainly by Monday, I hope to reach out to them and we can work together to come up with something that I think we can all agree on. We're not far apart, to be honest.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair,
Thank you. Yes.
Major, I got a question. Is this about the pawn shop or is this about the bikes?
It's kind of a two issues in the same bill. So, and the first section that talks about the bikes and the electronic, us creating an electronic database that anyone could check to see whether a bike is stolen or not and make that a requirement of reselling a bike. That's kind of one issue. And then the other issue is contained in the second two sections, which is talking about making amendments to 486M, where we're talking about suggestions on what we would want the records of transactions to be. So it's kind of two separate issues that are squeezed together under the consumer protection heading, I guess.
Okay, I really like the idea of trying to do something with the stolen bikes because we get plenty in our community. So it would be good to have some kind of picture database. Okay, that's why I was kind of confused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, can you say that one more time? You were
Yep.
muted.
Can we go to the break room?
Okay, recessing.
Okay, we're back in session for the Thursday, February 10th, 2022, 2 p.m. hearing of public safety. So the recommendations are for Senate Bill 2158 to pass it as is. We okay with that? Okay, we take a vote on that. Chair goes aye.
Members voting on SB 2158, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Baker? Excuse. Senator Rivera? Excuse. Senator Favela?
Reservations.
Reservations. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Senate Bill 3206 to pass it as is. Chair goes aye.
Chair, any discussion, Chair? Good.
Yeah, no.
Members voting on SB 3206, Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair votes aye. I vote aye. Senator Baker? Excuse. Senator Rivera? Excuse. Senator Favela?
Aye.
Aye. Chair, your
Thank
recommendation
you.
is adopted.
Thank you. Senate Bill 2646, pass it with amendments, asking that DCCAA give an updated report back 20 days prior to the 2023 legislature of the working group that was formed by HR 154 back in 2014. And also defect the date to July 31st, 2050. That gives the group time to get together and see if they can work it out between the Attorney General, Police Department, pawnbrokers, and the originator of the motion of the bill. We okay with that? Okay. Okay. I vote aye on the pass with amendments.
Members voting on SB 2646, Chair's recommendation passing with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Baker? Excuse.
Aye.
Oh, there we go. I'm
Aye.
waiting for you. Senator Rivera votes aye. Senator Favela?
Aye.
I'm gonna go back. I think Senator Baker is on. Senator Baker? Sorry, excuse. Senator, the measure is adopted.
Okay. Okay, gaveling back in. Did we get your vote, Senator Baker?
No, you're adjourning. You just have to adjourn, Senator.
Anyway, so I'm adjourning we concluded the meeting, so I adjourned it, but apparently it wasn't heard, so I'm gonna do it again. It's adjourned.